Excellence in Advanced Manufacturing Technology, organizing a webinar series titled as Saturday Manufacturing Talks, covering different aspects of manufacturing in the field of advanced manufacturing to connect the people across this globe. When you talk about this advanced manufacturing technology, it does include various advanced concepts so that the product can be, made smart, flexible, competitive, also more insight about the process. So through this webinar series, we'd like to connect to our esteemed alumni in the field of the academics and also in the industry, so that we get to know about their views in different aspects of manufacturing, which can be leveraged in future to connect with the people across this globe for the growth of the manufacturing. So our Center of Excellence in Advanced Manufacturing Technology at IIT, it has started just 3 years back, so it is growing. It would like to grow at a much faster rate. So we'd like to, the strength, and that strength we'd like to get it from our esteemed alumni through their views and their knowledge, their expertise, which will be shared across the globe to contribute in the field of the advanced manufacturing. I will talk about more of the Center of Excellence in Advanced Manufacturing at IIT Kharagpur just after the inauguration of respected Director, Professor Tewari. I'd like to request Professor Tewari to say something about this webinar series. This series we are expecting to continue for a longer period to cover aspects of the manufacturing. So I am requesting Professor Tewari to say something about that.
First of all, good morning to people in the other part of the globe, and good afternoon to people who are there in the country. Well, I'm very happy to know that Saturday Manufacturing Talk has been started, and I must congratulate Professor Surjapal, who has been running from pillar to post to see that this advanced manufacturing center come out with something which will connect to the industries, and particularly to the small and medium industries which are there in the country, and we can get the benefit of the advanced manufacturing equipment which we have over here, and that way enhance the quality of the product which will be manufactured. In the series, I can see that the first of its kind that has been done possibly, and I would also like to congratulate and feel happy that our alumnus, Professor Farrokh Mistree, has come forward to have the inaugural talk on this particular day. I think I had a meeting with Professor Farrokh Mistree the other day, and we could learn from each other on a one-to-one basis to a great extent. I think the ideas, I'm sure, what he will be talking and trying to catapult IIT Kharagpur to greater heights. In fact, here the role of all our alumni is paramount, because when I see the amount of, the volume of our alumni all over the globe, it is tremendous. Somehow or the other, but we are not in a position to leverage that strength of the knowledge as well as the strength of their acquaintances across the globe, so that the people will know of what an IIT Kharagpur is. In fact, they are our ambassadors to the world, talking about IIT Kharagpur, which is the first of its kind in the whole world, started about 70 years at IIT Kharagpur. And this particular center has been started about 3 years back, as Professor Surjapal has said, and maybe that more and more details he will give you after I finish my talk. But the talk of this particular kind and the series on a series basis on every Saturday, I think this is one thing which will be unique, and the knowledge and the tips which you will be getting from our Professor Mistree, and the question answer which we will be all going ahead and going through the answers and questions, which will be actually an interaction, and then others will also know that what are the facilities here, what are the nuances of advanced manufacturing, what are the quality of that manufacturing, how we need to maintain a standard if you want to have a quality product which is sold anywhere in the world. And we will also emphasize on the reliability as well as the safety of the task which is being done. Well, we know that we are talking of Industry 4.0. Many things have changed over the period of time, from the time immemorial till today. And several of the top industries and corporate houses have joined along with some of the public sector enterprises with this particular center, and they are funding. In fact, because of the pandemic, last 1 year, we could not make large headway. But then we are slowly recovering, and hope that in the next year, by 2021, we'll be in a position to take a lot of leverage the mileage of our alumni friends across the globe, and we'll have more and more of such lectures. We will also get an opportunity to get our alumni as well as their friends in US who matter to also visit IIT. I would also like to leverage their acquaintances in view of that. More of the faculty members, more of the students who are there abroad would be also attracted. Today morning, I was talking in the DIA, the doctoral fellowship program for in India by the ASEAN countries, and I can tell you that there is a lot of opportunity for these small countries to come over here and have a doctoral program. There are certain areas which IIT Kharagpur has, which they will be, in fact, benefited to a great extent. We were talking that we work below the earth, that is about mining engineering to aeronautical engineering. Then we are talking of agriculture engineering. We are talking of law school. We are talking of management. We are talking of naval architecture, and we are talking of architecture. Some of the unique things which are there in IIT Kharagpur, and I'm sure that our ASEAN countries will be able to get benefit of that. So on a similar line, I would say that if our friends from the other part, maybe those who are there in US, Germany, Canada, Australia, I think if more and more such webinars as well as interactions take place in the form of a student exchange, in the form of faculty exchange, I think we will be at par with what is being thought of in the top 10 in the world that we are thinking. In fact, our this year's QS ranking of the subject ranking says that we are in the top 50 in the world so far as the minerals and mining engineering is concerned, and it is in fact #1 in the country for last 1 year, last 3 years in the area of agriculture and forestry as well as architecture, and in the law school as well as management we are much better off and within the top 5 in the country. I can tell you that there are uniqueness of this particular institute and the facilities which we have developed along with advanced manufacturing. We have also developed facility for railway research also, whereas we are talking of the transportation, advanced transportation. We have also created the facility for the affordable healthcare, and we are of course going ahead with cyber physical systems and social systems, what our Farrokh Mistree was talking of. We have the Rural Development Center. We have the cyber physical systems in computer science, electrical engineering, electronics. We are working in the medical devices. We are also working, as one of our alumni, Subir Chaudhary, has talked of the Subir Chaudhary School of Quality and Reliability, and we have a Center of Excellence opened last year itself in the area of safety engineering and analytics. So once we combine all these the niche areas which we have thought of, I am sure with the knowledge and help from our distinguished alumni all over the world, we will be in a position to catapult this IIT to top 10 in the world, and for which I am sure they will be proud to say anywhere in the world. With this, I am very happy, and I welcome Professor Farrokh and other friends who are there for the lecture. I would love to hear his lecture. I think now Professor Pal will give the details of this particular center. Professor Pal, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your nice motivational, the talk. Now I'd like to introduce our Center of Excellence in Advanced Manufacturing Technology. Briefly about our center before I move on to, before I request Professor Farrokh to deliver his talk. Center of Excellence in Advanced Manufacturing Technology, it is a platform for industry, academia, collaborative research. So it is dedicated to solving industrial problems. It has been established early 2018 with the strong support from the Department of Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises, the Ministry of Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises, and also forming a consortium, top 6 industries in our country. The industries which are there with us is Tata Sons, Tata Motors, Tata Steel, Tata Consultancy Services, four private industries. We do have HEC, Dachi, and BHL, public sector organizations. With these 6 industries, we started our journey. And last year, we have the Hemraj Infocom Private Limited, which is a startup. They have also joined our consortium. The vision of this Center of Excellence is to inculcate modern concepts like the Industry 4.0 and other the areas like additive manufacturing, materials, supply chains into the field of manufacturing so that we can bring innovation into it. We'd like to create an ecosystem between large industries, small industries, academic institutes. We'd also like to collaborate with the international expertise. And at the same time, we'd like to give training to industry professionals and to build startup culture. While executing this, whatever the intellectual property would be generated, that we'd like to secure as well. So in this ecosystem, we are getting the problem definition from the OEMs. So problem definitions are primarily on the 4 research verticals. One is that materials, automation, additive manufacturing, and Industry 4.0. The beauty of this Center of Excellence is that our faculty colleagues are working very cohesively with the industry professionals while providing this customized solutions to them. We are also in training to the industry people, training on the modern concepts, advanced concepts, so that the MSME startups, they get about these modern concepts, they can apply these techniques, and they can be in the supply chain of the big industries. So through this program, we'd like to create an Center of Excellence in Advanced Manufacturing Technology is aiming to reside in to serve as a catapult center. That means that whatever academic innovation coming up in the technology readiness level 1, 2, and 3, like to work on those, the academic innovations so that that can be translated into the industrial practice. The beauty of the Center of Excellence is that we do have large number of industry scale state-of-the-art infrastructures. So in addition to this, while executing these projects, we are also creating an innovation lab. Innovation lab is a hub where we do have large number of the equipments of different kinds. So those equipments are open to be used by MSME, startup, or any other industry or any other academic institute.
Laway.
I'd like to give you, glimpses of this infrastructural capacity of the Center of Excellence. We do have a friction stir welding, the machine. Friction stir welding is the advanced joining process. Primarily, it is used for the automobile and the aerospace sector, and also for the marine and the railway sector. We do have a robotic facility and fully integrated with the sensors, so you can collect the sensors data. That means you get to know about the process during during its execution. We are also creating a structural vibration testing facility. This can be leveraged to, get to know about the vibration of any object, be it the automobile structure, prototype of a bridge, or it could be the domestic appliances like refrigerator or the washing machine. We are also having the acoustic holography, so that gives you the idea of the sources of noise in a particular, the machine. We do have the computer integrated manufacturing facility, which will give the idea to the students about the coordination between the various manufacturing, the processes, and how the process can be optimized, starting from the collection of the jobs from the, from the store and putting it into the final stage. We are having a additive manufacturing facility, hybrid additive manufacturing facility, which is able to print an object close to 1 meter length. We are going to have the Industry 4.0 compliant robotic welding, the facility. So there would be the facility on the MIG welding, TIG welding, spot welding, laser welding, all are robotic facility, industrial scale, integrated with large number of sensors. So you get to know about the process quality. You can also get an idea about the health of the machine while executing the process. Some of the innovations I would like to, mention, which has been, which we are able to come up with in the very recent past. Of the work which we have, jointly carried out, executed with the help of, Tata Consultancy Services in the field of real-time process monitoring and control. So in a process, if any defect comes up, how can you get to know about that process and how to, come up with the prescriptive, the process parameters so that that can be applied real time to get rid of that defect. So this has been, the executed, implemented on friction stir welding machine, one of the welding process, but the structure or the methodology can also be implemented in other fields, other process industries as well. In the recent past, we have filed a patent on a low-cost solution, machine vision based solution for inspecting the quality of the product. Now, this can be very easily adopted by the MSMEs or the small industries. So, the image of the product is captured by the low-cost camera like the webcam, and then we have applied the artificial intelligence-based image augmentation, the technique, so that we can come up with the good, the information out of the image, and that can be used for the process product quality determination. So this has been filed as a patent in the recent past. Our faculty colleagues in the Center of Excellence has come up with an algorithm to boost the India's manufacturing sector. So they have come up with an innovative solutions to know about the details of the process, like in a furnace process, how the the process is going on, what is the health of the different component of the furnace. Everything is getting the ready, the information is coming up in the dashboard on the real time. So this has been tested by the Tata Metallics. So, and they are very much happy with this, the solution. So my request to all the, the people who are attending this, this webinar this is the first of the series, and we'll be, that in the next week onwards, we'll be talking mostly on the technical aspects of the manufacturing. So my request to all of, the people forward, collaborate with the Center of Excellence so that we can work together and can contribute to the ongoing research, come up with, some solutions, come up with some innovative research as well. I'd like to, play a small video which has been made very recently. In fact, today only it has been made publicized on our, the Center of Excellence, innovations on our Center of Excellence. Center of Excellence in Advanced Manufacturing Technology is aiming to do industrial research. It is visioning as a manufacturing catapult in transforming the academic research into industrial practice. This has been set up early 2018 with the support from Department of Heavy Industries under the Ministry of Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises, and forming a consortium of top industries in our country. We do have Tata Consultancy Service, Tata Motors, Tata Sons, Tata Steel, HEC Ranchi, and BHEL. Researchers at Center of Excellence in Advanced Manufacturing Technology are working in 4 thematic areas such as specialty materials, design and automation, additive manufacturing, and Industry 4.0. Research projects are getting carried out in this newly developed Center of Excellence, which is a 40,000 square feet, the area. We are giving training to the MSME sectors on advanced manufacturing concept, such as computerized numerical control. We are also planning to give training on the most wanted topic, which is the industrial robotics. This Center of Excellence is open to all industry sectors, starting from the big to the very small, and also to the startup. So the startups can come forward, they can use our facility to nurture their concept and build up the early prototypes for their, the product.
The developed system employs cloud infrastructure for managing the sensory data, deriving real-time insights about the welding process, and subsequently controls the SW machine by setting optimized parameters. This has been achieved by employing various signal processing and machine learning techniques. So this has been a very cost-saving solution as it eliminates the material rejection, and there is no need for performing the quality test as well. I am quite excited that the developed solution is now filed as a patent with Tata Consultancy Services.
In a very short span, the Center of Excellence in Advanced Manufacturing Technology has developed a very low-cost, artificial intelligence-based Industry 4.0 solution for real-time dimension check of the product. This solution will immensely help the MSME sector.
This innovation is about a low-cost Industry 4.0 solution developed for the MSMEs. It is a customized software embedded with computer vision, AI, and ML algorithm that takes pictures of a product and measures the dimensional features in real time. It also checks the surface quality as well. Here, we used for the image capturing a very low-cost webcam, as the software intelligently enhances the image quality in real time, which eliminates the cost of an expensive camera.
We have tested a variety industrial products such as those used in transmission lines, automobiles, and mechanical tools. We have obtained accuracy close to 99% within just 10 seconds.
We are also lucky to have Tata Sons as our industry partner. What we basically you want to do in this particular project with the help of IoTs and also the traditional manufacturing systems and the logistic systems and application of digital technologies, we are trying to improve upon the efficiencies so that the products become more competitive, the steps are also optimized, and moreover, a very good optimization can be built with the large enterprises along with the SME sector.
One of the major gain points for any industry is to tackle the unplanned breakdown. So in collaboration with Tata Metallics, we have developed this software where we have leveraged Internet of IoT and machine learning algorithms to come up with a predictive maintenance software. We have created this dashboard for annealing furnace, which is fitted with a gearbox, where we can tell in what mode the machine is running and when it is about to fail. This helps Tata Metallics a lot. They have estimated that direct cost they can save up to 1 crore rupees due to the increase in productivity. In the direct cost, they can reduce the downtime by 40 hours, man hours by around 400 hours, and 8 lakhs in the wastage cost. If such software is available for our MSMEs, which is very, very simple to implement and very cheap, that can help them drastically, and that is actually the real meaning of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
This center is one of its kind in the whole country, we can say, because the facilities and the infrastructure which has been created, it's really unique, and it will be of great help to all the MSMEs for quality manufacturing of products which otherwise they cannot do. Some of the work which we have done in last couple of years is of very interest to be noted here. That with the help of TCS, we have developed a real-time monitoring and control of defects on any manufacturer, which is one of its kind, because a lot of products are wasted. If online, on the go, if the welding is going on and we can find out the defect and control, I think there is nothing like that. And hence, the software has been developed in consultation with TCS. The second thing which has been done is low cost, real time, you can say, dimensional control. The other third product we have done is through a software which talks of the predictive maintenance, and this is a unique one which has been which is being used in Tata Metallics, one of the companies. And with these three things we are progressing, but then we have bigger plans to come up with some of the trainings which are already going on some of the budding apprentices which are available with BTech degree or even diploma degree. We are trying to train them for working in different heavy industries or in advanced industries, or also can become entrepreneurs, as well as this facility will help the MSMEs. And through this, we will also like to enhance our capability for robotics and virtual and augmented reality in near future as well. So with this, I think we are progressing, and we are planning to have all sorts of even bigger industries to come and get the quality product made. And this will go a long way in serving the all companies, including the MSMEs. Thank you.
Now I'd like to introduce Professor Farrokh Mistree. Farrokh Mistree holds the LA Con Chair in the School of Aerospace and Mechanical Engineering at the University of Oklahoma, USA. Professor Janet K. Allen and Professor Farrokh Mistree co-direct the System Realization Laboratory at University of Oklahoma. His research focus is on defining the emerging frontier of evolving cyber physical social systems when the computational models are incomplete and inaccurate. Farrokh has co-authored 2 textbooks, 4 research monographs, and more than 400 technical papers dealing with the design of materials, mechanical, thermal, and structural systems, ships, and aircraft engineered supply networks as well. Professor Farrokh Mistree is 1967 graduate in Naval Architecture Department, a distinguished alumnus awardee of IIT Kharagpur in 2012, a fellow of ASME, and associate fellow of AIAA. With this, I request Professor Farrokh Mistree to deliver his talk in the inaugural session. Professor Mistree. Professor Mistree, please share the slide.
Yeah, I'm looking for for the link to do that. Yeah, here. Can you see my slides?
You have to share the screen.
I'm not allowed to share. Could you help me? Okay, now it's shared. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it is coming on. Yeah, it has come up. Farrokh, please put it in the presentation mode, PPT mode. Solid.
It's in the presentation.
Yeah,
So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. And with that fantastic introduction to what's going on at IIT Kharagpur, I'm sure that all of you feel really positive about what's going on at IIT Kharagpur and where it's going. Today, I want to enter into a conversation with you. And the question that is being posed is, catapult IIT Kharagpur to be the research destination of choice for advanced manufacturing? That is the question that I'd like you to think about. So we want to catapult IIT Kharagpur to be the research destination of choice for advanced manufacturing. So my aim today is not to tell you more about, hey, guess what? This is how we use surrogate models, or this is how we use AI, or this is how we use technology, or this is how we use robotics in Industry 4.0 and in manufacturing, but rather to foster a dialogue with a purpose between the IIT Kharagpur community. The important thing, my emphasis is on dialogue with a purpose. So what is that purpose? I suggest that the purpose is to establish itself as a virtual destination of choice for university-based research and technology development and rise in the world rankings. This is what Professor Tewari and I have communicated on, and this is the framework within which I'm going to try and foster this dialogue with a purpose. So at the end of my talk, I'm going to invite people who want to add, who want to be part of this initiative, to speak for no more than 30 seconds about their interest in making it happen. So it's not why you can't do things or what we should do, but whether or not you wish to be part of the community that takes IIT forward to rise in the rankings and also to establish itself as a virtual destination of choice. So the key question I asked you to ponder is, how can we catapult IIT Kharagpur to be the virtual destination of choice for advanced manufacturing and rise in the world rankings? I have looked at the AICTE National Education Policy, and they have identified a number of themes, a number of items that Professor Tewari has to write a report on and to provide information to AICTE. Out of those, there are 2 that I'm going to focus on. One is item 3, research, innovation, and rankings. This is a national priority. And item 4, which is global outreach and higher education. I'm going to focus in the talk today on item 3 and leave item 4 for recognize that item 4 is contingent on being able to do item 3 appropriately. So what does it mean to be world class? People keep throwing out this idea that, oh yeah, we are world class. It's just that we are doing all these things, but the world doesn't recognize it. That is not being world class. World class means at the institutional level, IIT Kharagpur collaborates with top universities in the world. Perhaps one in North America, one in Europe, Britain, one in Japan, etc. The centers of excellence collaborate with top centers in the world. Top centers in the world, wherever they are. The faculty at IIT Kharagpur publish and co-supervise graduate students with top faculty in the world. That does not mean that what is going on does not continue. I suggest that what is going on is phenomenal, and people are very successful and happy at making that happen. By no means do I suggest that less or that should not be done. What I am suggesting is that we need to think in terms of in the next 5 years of establishing limited collaboration between IIT Kharagpur and top universities in the world, centers, some centers of excellence at IIT Kharagpur working with equivalent centers in the rest of the world, and some faculty working with the rest of the world. Now, what is interesting out here is that IIT Kharagpur may be working with Institute A and B. The centers may be working with Institute A, C, and D. The faculty may be working with universities D, E, and F. It doesn't matter. But that is the ecosystem that gets put together. So now manufacturing. Much has been said about Industry 4.0, and that, I mean, there are many definitions of Industry 4.0. Some that is like putting a new wine in old bottles. For example, somebody runs a simulation program and calls it a digital thread. That's to be expected. So I want to make clear what I'm looking at here in the context of Industry 4.0. Manufacturing is the making of goods by hand or by machine that upon completion the business sells to a customer. The manufacturing that you have seen in the video displayed recently deals with products. That is, how do you make machinery? But there are also consumer items. And if you think in terms of a fast food joint, that is also a manufacturing system. A McDonald's, a Whataburger, these are manufacturing systems, but at a different scale. The foundation of a university, the role of a university is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship in 3 parts. Economic entrepreneurship, that's people who generate economic wealth. Social entrepreneurship, that's people who go and generate social wealth. And 3 is intellectual entrepreneurship, that is the generation of research papers and new knowledge. All these deal with value, creating economic value, social value, and intellectual value. So value creation through research and innovation in the era of Industry 4.0 includes the making of goods and the provision of services that a business sells to a customer. So I'd like to think broader in terms of manufacturing and saying what we're really looking at is research and innovation that includes the making of goods and the provision of services that a business sells to a customer. So I'd like you to contemplate the ramification of Industry 4.0 on value creation. So what is value creation in the era of Industry 4.0? Well, I'd like to suggest that it's the industrial brain. And the idea for this came from my PhD student, Zhenjun Ming, who is now at the Beijing Institute of Technology. So you will see this is Industry 4.0. And Industry 4.0 has spawned Health 4.0, Design 4.0, etc., etc. All of them deal with the notion of value creation. So let's start with smart manufacturing. That's the video. That's what we saw in the video today. There's a human cyber physical system. We're looking at cyber manufacturing as a human cyber physical system. So here's the human, here's the cyber, and here's the physical. In the cyber system, we look at digital twin, digital thread, cloud computing. In the physical system, we are looking at materials, machines, and products. In the human, we are looking at the designer, manufacturer, supplier, etc. When these three things come together, what we are looking at is an industrial brain. Humans provide judgment because we are looking at information that's incomplete and inaccurate. And without judgment, you cannot move things forward. So the cyber system deals with algorithms and computing, and the physical system provides the data. In the video, we saw that those things wouldn't be possible without sensors. Now let us move to this next portion. The designer, manufacturer, and supplier need decision support. Materials, machine, and product require automatic control. And the center, the video that we saw and the talk that was given by Suljia focused to a large extent on automatic control of material, machines, and products. Now, how does that tie to IIT Kharagpur? What if we said that we want to make Kharagpur the virtual destination of choice? Why virtual? Because IIT Kharagpur, we recognize that IIT Kharagpur is not next to a major city. It's not a sexy place to be in. It's difficult to get to. Hoi, 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 hoi. We recognize that we don't have too many companies around IIT Kharagpur. Well, instead of bemoaning that and saying that's why we are no good, let us say we are going to make use of that which IIT is good at. The computational facilities, the AI center, the ability to do things at the information level is absolutely phenomenal. So how about thinking in terms of a cloud-based hub to support distributed open innovation? Distributed open innovation of products and processes in advanced manufacturing of value to personnel in industry, research laboratories, very important research laboratories, government research laboratories, research faculty and students from around the world. So we look at industry research laboratories, government research laboratories, and research faculty and students from around the world. It means that we don't have to have people visit IIT Kharagpur physically, but we can have people from around the world visit IIT Kharagpur virtually 24/7. What else does this make possible? It provides for consultancy projects from industry. Our director said he would like to provide services to small and medium-sized industry. Well, this is a wonderful way in which small and medium-sized industries could use the technology, get access to the information, get access to the papers, get access to the software that has been developed within IIT, within various constituents in the IIT. And finally, if you're providing an extension service to small and medium-sized companies, this notion of an extension service is where people from universities go out and help people who do not have access to such expertise. Now, what I want to show you in this picture is value creation in the era of Industry 4.0. You will see here are products, here are processes, and I talked about both, that we need to think in terms of products and processes and the integration between products and processes. If you think in terms of the interaction between product and business, that deals with sales, between manufacturing and products, that's technology, between processes and manufacturing, that's assets, between business and processes, that's supplies. Now, as you're thinking about it from a strategic standpoint, on the outer circle are propositions, on the inner circle are enablers. This is what needs to be populated. Chorus Steel, slide with me, did that when they thought in terms of transforming their company from a standard steel company to a company that was anchored in Industry 4.0. This is what they did. And I suggest that this may be a template that could be used when industry and university gets together and says, which is the direction in which we want to go. So now, So let's move to this notion of a virtual destination of choice. I suggest that we think in terms of a cloud-based innovation hub and call it InnoHub. And you could put a trademark with KGP or use a Hindi phrase or a Sanskrit phrase to make that happen. It is clear that for IIT to become a university of eminence, that in that proposal that was put before the Indian government and for which IIT Kharagpur was recognized and given this major grant, that there were 7 verticals: advanced transportation, advanced manufacturing, affordable healthcare, cyber-physical systems, food security, safety analytics, quality, and smart infrastructure. Let's accept that these are the 7 verticals that were put in that proposal, and now IIT Kharagpur is working on them. Each of these centers or verticals have the opportunity to generate software, computational tools, data, test cases, etc., to further knowledge creation. That's the research side of it. That's what moves you up in the rankings by writing journal papers that others take a look at. Technology development, that is what industry is interested in. Education, that is service to the nation, etc. How does that work in? Focus on entrepreneurship, that includes startups for business, for creating economic value. Focus on projects that where people learn about how to create social value, and most importantly, focus on the graduate program where students learn how to create intellectual value. These, I suggest, can go into the industrial brain or the InnoHub. And what happens? Research laboratories from industry, government and university can make use of that. Collaborative research could be undertaken. Collaborative papers could be written. Joint MS and PhDs could be given. This is working jointly with a professor anywhere in the world. Certificates could be put together. In other words, IIT faculty could come together and say, "Oh, right, we're going to give an IIT certificate, 4 courses, 6 courses, on a virtual platform to make that happen." I just learned that IIT Madras has a virtual program in data analytics. They give a bachelor's or a master's in data analytics, which is phenomenal. And IIT Kharagpur could do the branding with these certificates. And of course, as was mentioned in by Sujya, training is important. That too, the hub could be used for training. Then industry-inspired problems without IP. Because if there is IP, you have to separate IP from non-IP. Industry-inspired problems without IP. That means problems in the pre-competitive space. That is the domain through which you can write journal papers, etc., that move the frontier of knowledge forward, as opposed to providing short-term value to a particular company. Then industry consultancy with IP. Absolutely fantastic. And IIT Kharagpur is certainly doing that extremely well. And of course, as I mentioned, small and medium-sized enterprises, and Professor Tewari mentioned that was one of the functions. This hub could be used for that, because the information that you put on the hub is not limited. What you're putting there are the intellectual products of IIT Kharagpur that can be used, created, reused across, not just within the vertical, but across the verticals as well. For example, the notion of safety, analytics, and quality applies across the board. The notion of smartness applies across the board. The notion of AI applies across the board. The notion of systems applies across the board. So now, what is my hypothesis? My hypothesis that I wish to share with you is that a grand challenge, whether it be education, healthcare, food security, whatever it is that you're looking at transportation, if you're looking at it as a challenge, then I suggest that it can be modeled as a cyber-physical social system. Examples are development, nation development, economic development, rural development, healthcare, precision agriculture, what have you. So the proposition that I put before you for you to consider, not just from the standpoint of advanced manufacturing, but from the standpoint of creating value for products and processes across the 7 verticals, is that IIT Kharagpur be recognized as a world leader through various undertakings and offerings as a cyber-physical social system, and facilitate interactions between world leaders in 3 categories, namely institute to institute, center to center, faculty to faculty. So the value proposition then becomes the following. A cloud-based InnoHub to support distributed open innovation. Distributed open innovation in advanced manufacturing of value for personnel in industry research laboratories, government research laboratories, research faculty and students around the world, for consultancy projects from Indian industry, for providing extension service to small and medium-sized industry. Now, IIT Kharagpur has centers. Why can't we use the centers as catalysts for the development of cyber-physical social systems, and for IIT Kharagpur to be recognized as the place to go to if you have any problem that involves cyber-physical social systems, a virtual destination of choice for dealing with cyber-physical social systems, whether it's rural development, whether it's economics, whether it's transportation, what have you. So the Center of Excellence in deals with cyber. The Humanities and Social Sciences Department deals with social. V.T. Soam Business School deals with the social side, that is business and economics. The Rajiv Gandhi School deals with the social aspect of law, intellectual property. We're going to need these things, because if you have a cyber-physical social system that deals with value, and we have to bring in people, we have to bring in human beings, government, what have you, you have to have law involved in that. Rural Development Center, that's a social aspect, linking technology to benefit rural population. The less advantaged, dealing with social justice, economic justice, environmental justice. The School of Biosciences, this is absolutely phenomenal, together with the hospital that the phenomenal hospital that has been put together by IIT Kharagpur. The combination of that will be absolutely phenomenal in terms of coming up with devices, medical devices. IIT Kharagpur has the VLSI Center. That means you can design and manufacture any chip that you want. You don't have to go and import it or do anything like that. And that ties in with the current thrust on saying self-sufficiency. Let's not import, let's not do things. Let's do things in India. So if we thought in terms of biosciences, tying the biosciences side to the hospital, thinking in terms of telemedicine, thinking in terms of cheap tests, stuff like that, the opportunity is mind-boggling, and that is one of the verticals, affordable healthcare. And of course, the Sati Center, I went to its website, and it's extremely interesting because the focus there is on leadership, on development. How do you do startups? How do you mentor people? And one of the goals that has been mentioned by the director is the emphasis on startups. So I think thinking in terms of the centers as catalysts, thinking in terms of the verticals and what we can do across the verticals in the context of putting together this InnoHub would be very helpful. Now, what needs to change at IIT Kharagpur? What needs to remain the same? What needs to remain the same is what you are doing right now. That means bringing in outstanding students, mentoring them, and sending them out in the world with confidence to tackle problems and follow role models like Sundar Pichai, etc. Continue with that. The question that I pose to you is that all the faculty at IIT Kharagpur, without a doubt, believe they are successful. And I applaud them for it and say wonderful. So everybody at IIT Kharagpur is successful. The question that comes up, and that is what Director Tewari is going to face, is why would successful faculty change? They're happy doing what they're doing. Why would they change? They have the money, they have the students, they have the respect, they're publishing the papers, etc. Now, having been to IIT Kharagpur sometimes 5 times a year, but that's another story, I believe it is necessary to empower faculty to follow different career paths. There are some faculty at IIT Kharagpur who are focused on teaching. There are some, particularly the young ones, who are interested in fundamental research. There are some who are put into technology development. There are some who get immense pleasure out of consultancy. And there are some who vie for administration. I know all of them. I've met all of them. I think it is appropriate for the director, together with the Senate, to think in terms of streams, and for each of these streams to come along and say, how would we measure excellence? And allow people to go from one stream to another one. Why? I believe, as it was said in the Three Idiots movie, when you pursue excellence, success follows. So in restructuring how the faculty work together, what you're saying is in each vertical, fundamental research, technology development, consultancy, teaching, or administration, pursue excellence. Success will follow. Reinforce the mantra that IIT Kharagpur seeks to be a destination of choice for university-based research and technology development and seeks to rise in the world rankings. This is not just to be said, this needs to be said, and you need to demonstrate that this indeed is the direction in which you go. You need to facilitate and promote transdisciplinary research. One can be very comfortable getting into a vertical saying industry wants this, therefore I'm going to do that. But one has to face facts. Indian industry is not the world leader. That goes without a saying. What we have to do is to do more, do the bright sky, the blue sky projects. Indian industry will grow to be world leaders in time. Another bullet point is cluster hiring. It's not just hiring people and then putting them into a vertical and say, oh yeah, go out and do something. But you need to hire them in a cluster and then mentor them as a cluster. How do you come up with these clusters? But that's another story that with Director Tewari and others I'd be happy to go into. One of the things I found is that assistant professors do a huge amount of service-related activities, huge amount. Become wardens of halls, are sent off for JEE exams and stuff like that. This is not for them to do. They have to be unburdened. This is the role of senior faculty, where they do the more and more administration and make it possible for the assistant professors who are still bright, who are still young, who still want to establish their research careers, to spend their time doing that. And then finally, I think the culture of change requires a restructuring of the graduate education. The current program that you have is not conducive to educating people who automatically go out and create knowledge. Again, I'm open to talking about that. So now, just for the Advanced Manufacturing Center, I offer these for consideration. And I will suggest that all centers could think in terms of doing that. All verticals can think in terms of this. Establish collaborative arrangements with 3 topmost AMCs in the world. So, and I emphasize 3 topmost, not anything that's easy or we worked with them. It may be even 1. Support IIT's contribution to nation building through up-to-date and appropriately oriented undergraduate and graduate training. Nation building is extremely important, but these should be appropriately oriented undergraduate and postgraduate training. To the industry workforce through consultancy and transfer technology, to economic development through startups and job creation, to educate leaders with social conscience in academia, government, and industry. The notion of a social conscience is extremely important. To small and medium size, and this can be adopted So let me deal with some targets that you may like to think about. And this can be adopted by all centers. 3 top AMCs, 1 from Japan, 1 from North America, 1 from UK, Europe, 10 top faculty in the world, cutting edge industrial research in 3 emerging fields. Cutting edge. It is new stuff. It is not just what you do to solve today's problems. You could think in terms of establishing ratios. Graduate 3 PhDs per faculty per year. Journal quality papers. This is not a journal paper that is set up by some university in India where the paper is published, but these are international journals of international repute. Target faculty funding per faculty ratio. This is very difficult to put together, but it's something that the faculty can think together and make it happen. All right. So I have spoken as planned for 30 minutes, and so that's enough talk from me. And you've heard from distinguished people at IIT Kharagpur for the previous 30 minutes. So let us act now. So I come down and say, what is the key question? And the key question I'm posing to each of you is, how can you, as the individual, not saying my university, my anything, catapult IIT Kharagpur to be the research destination of choice for advanced manufacturing? And then I want to think deeply about this. And then I want to establish a dialogue with a purpose. So instead of a Q&A, well, you'll ask me and say, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I answer you, and everybody goes off and does nothing. I want to have a dialogue with a purpose. To further the 5-year proposed goals of IIT Kharagpur, what do you see yourself doing in the next 3 months at IIT Kharagpur that you are not doing now? Not what you're doing, but what you are not doing now. And I want you to limit this to 1 minute. And Aditya and Devash will be taking notes, and we will get back to you. Sujya and I will get back to you to see if there's some hope in continuing. So with that, I open the floor up for these 1-minute presentations. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a bit. And let me tell you what happens next. After this 1-minute deal, I'm going to ask people to turn on, if you agree with this, if you want to be part of this movement, to turn on your camera and wave if you want to get involved in moving IIT Kharagpur to be the research destination of choice for advanced manufacturing. So right now, people turn their cameras off. We have no idea whether they are sitting there, what they're doing, etc. But at the end, at the very end, I'm going to invite people to turn their cameras on and wave and say, yes, that's what's going to happen. And Aditya and Debashish will take a picture of that and get back in touch with you to see if we can make proceed. So now to dialogue with a